I've been thinking a great deal about, and you mentioned 1997,
yeah,
about all of the great times that we've had, and I've come up with my top 3 Nite Show moments.
Wow. And did you just roll your tongue when you said 3?
3?
That was pretty good.
Is that okay?
Was that intentional or was that by accident?
Let's call it intentional. You know, that's a good thing. Because you've afforded me a lot of great opportunity. I remember coming into a live taping at Old Town Park, and I was in a bucket truck.
You were in a fire truck, yep.
And I remember being the guy that taught you how to actually lace your microphone up your tie.
You did.
Instead of, and that's when you weighed a whole lot more than
A lot more than I do now, yeah.
But here's the deal. I've come up with the top 3 moments, and I will bet you all of the money in your pocket against all of the money in Brian's pocket that you cannot guess number 1.
Okay.
But I'll bet you might be able to guess number 2. You might be able to guess number 3. Do you want to take a stab at any of them? What would be either the 3rd or the 2nd of my favorite Nite Show moments that you and I have experienced so far?
Are we talking like the old show too, or just
could
the
be
current?
the old show, could be the old show, could be the new show, anything. What do you got?
What about the time that you, on our first last show, you brought a canned ham to me?
That didn't make the list. I loved it, and I wish the man hadn't come up on stage and stolen it.
It was Angus, the old drunk, bitter Scottish guy, one of our old characters back then.
So you didn't guess that, so I'm just going to jump in, and I'm going to share with you.
You came with props?
Yes, I'm going to share with you that number 3 was the meeting.
Yeah. I remember this.
One day, back when filming at Next Gen,
yep,
you and I, with our friend Adam Osborne, had filmed a skit.
Yeah.
In which we wanted to see Dan get more sponsors for the show. So I said, would you take a meeting with our then owners of the company, Elizabeth Sutherland and Kerry Weston?
Yeah.
So we emerged, and lo and behold, we were actually filming at Dice Arts, the new Dice Arts on Broadway in Bangor with great daily specials. And then I said, oh, and by the way, and it was wonderful, there was a cameo from the buttery, flaky crust couple.
Yeah.
Jack Palmer and Sonia. And Jack, rest his soul, said, Dan Cashman, talk about flaky.
He did say that.
And he nailed the line.
Nailed it.
That is my number
3.
3, and it was great. And we didn't get sued.
We didn't get sued. That's
number 3 of top 3 moments.
Okay.
You want to take a guess on number 2? I got to be honest, you referred to it just a moment ago.
I did? Was it the Blues Brothers?
Nope.
No, was it?
Blues Brothers was fun.
The Blizzard?
Nope.
Rappin' About Maine.
Rappin' About Maine 2. I was going to give you this hint, okay? Idaho, I don't know, your Tata claims exaggerated. I got a skidda from my daddy on the day I graduated.
Yeah, that's right.
Dan had once said to me that he was upset that when I was working then at KISS FM back in the day, Captain Jack was the announcer, and we did Rappin' About Maine, and he wanted to be part of Rappin' About Maine 2. So I wrote Rappin' About Maine 2, presented you with the lyrics, and we strutted our stuff on this very stage, and it only took 2 takes.
Strangely.
And you know what? It was my fault. It was 2 takes. I missed my cue. But I was so happy to see that BDN put it up for a time.
He did.
And a lot of people gave us, they liked it.
They did, yeah. That was really cool.
I don't know what's wrong with these people, but they liked it. So Rappin' About Maine 2 that we filmed live here on the stage of the Gracie is my 2nd favorite Nite Show moment. Okay. So how much money you got in? Yeah, thank you. That's nice. Thank you guys. How much money you got in your pocket?
2 cents.
That's 2 cents more than I have in my pocket.
Do you have any idea what is my favorite Nite Show moment, Dan?
I mean, you don't have any more props,
I
so I
don't.
can only assume it's right now, being on one of our final shows.
It's not.
Okay.
Back far from it. I'll tell you this. My favorite Nite Show moment didn't happen in front of the cameras. God. 5 years ago, you came to me and said, can I talk to you in my office? I said, sure. And you explained to me that you had a family urgent matter, and it could very well take you out of state. But you'd already arranged all of this with Brian and the band and the announcers, and you'd booked guests. And you may not want to admit it, but you asked me, You remember? Mm-hmm. You asked me if I would fill in for you.
Yeah, I did.
And what you didn't see is after I said, what, Morelli's not available? After you said that to me, I said, well, sure, because I want to do anything to support you and your daughters at the time, crazy events. And I went back to my little area, and I took a deep breath, and I went home that night, and my wife Elizabeth said to me, honey, what did Dan want to talk to you about? And he said, well, Dan wanted to know if I would fill in for him. And that's when I cried. Because it was either some sort of faith in me or your blatant idiocy.
Which runs rampant, by the way.
I know. I've witnessed it for how many years now? Dan, that you would do that. That you would let me be this much a part of all of this for all of these years. The videos were fun. The parodies were fun. The Rappin' About Maine was fun. But that you would say to me, would you fill in for me? Didn't have to happen, but would you? That is my best, favorite, and forever will be Nite Show moment.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Okay. So, all right. No spit takes.
No spit takes. No, we don't need to ruin any more microphones. Listen, you've been on the show dozens of times. In fact, you are the most frequent guest we've had through all 3 versions of the show. And you've come here, and we talked about it a little bit tonight. You've always had fun things planned. And the reason this show works is so many different reasons, but it's guests like you who come prepared to do something fun and get what we're about. So thank you for all of that. Thank you for your support and your friendship.
And I'm sorry that this wasn't fun. Tonight. But
I don't
thank
know.
you.
Seeing you start to cry is a lot of fun. Ric Tyler, everybody. We're coming right back. Music from Elena Hubble. Buddy, thank you for everything. Thank you.